What's up, Arlington? I'm Tyler Hill, Communications Coordinator with Arlington Community Schools, and I'm here with Principal Chris Duncan, Vice Principal Diana Penny at Arlington High School. And we know high school parents have a lot of questions right now, especially if you're sending your kid on the hybrid schedule, because this is unlike anything we've ever done before. So we want to talk about what the day in the life of a high school student at Arlington High School will look like this year. So Ms. Penny, let's start with you, because what's important to know is that we are not going to be on that traditional block schedule this year, right?
No, we had to change that. We had to move away from our 90-minute block. Mr. Duncan and I looked at lots of different ways to be able to support our students through this time, and we just did not feel like that our teachers seeing our students one time a week face-to-face would be enough, so we decided to go with our straight 7, which is what our students typically do on a Friday, where they will see all 7 teachers in one day. So we'll be doing that every day of the week. It'll just look a little different when students are on campus and when they're not. But yeah, so we'll be doing 7 classes every day.
Okay, good to know. All right, so the first day of the week is going to be virtual Mondays. On this day, all kids are at home learning, so they're not going to be physically here on campus. So Mr. Duncan, what is that day going to look like on virtual Mondays? Are they going to be following that 7 class period schedule?
That's a great question, Tyler. Yes, they will be following their 7-period schedule and will be expected to be in school from 7 to 2 as the normal school day looks like. However, we do want everybody to understand that this will not look like it did last spring when learning was optional. Learning will be mandatory at this time. You'll have to check in at your class schedule, times, whatever that may be. If you're in first period, all students will need to be in first period listening to the information that the teacher has laid out for what that week may look like. Same thing for second, third, through all 7th periods. So that will look, much different than it did last spring, and it's important that every student checks in at every schedule, at every class time, because attendance will be counted and there will be assignments and teaching going on during these virtual Mondays. So that's very important that we all understand that.
So let's break this down. I'm Johnny, and my first class is Algebra 1 at 7 a.m. So I need to be logged on to Zoom, Microsoft Teams, whatever the teacher says at 7 a.m., correct?
Or 6:58.
Yeah, 6:58. Let's be a couple minutes early.
Early is on time is late.
Okay, that's good. And then you'll just follow that schedule throughout the day. And these classes could take up to 45 minutes, right?
That's correct. The expectation is that students are there from start to finish, whatever that may look like. And that will be dependent on what the teacher is teaching and how much of the time that teacher expects the students to be there.
Okay, lunches. That's important that we get lunch in during that day. It's going to be a universal lunch period time, right?
That's correct. And what a universal lunch period means on virtual days is teachers will teach during A and B lunches, and they will eat lunch themselves and have PLC time the remainder to lunch of C and D.
So virtual Mondays, your lunch time will be from 11:15 a.m. to about 12:20 p.m.
Correct. The 6th period will begin about 12:20.
Okay, so we got virtual Mondays. You're at home. You're following that schedule. You're logging onto Zoom, Microsoft Teams, whatever the teacher says, and it is a full day, 7 to 2. This isn't like last spring. You're going to be working, and you're going to be visiting those classes.
That's
all right, Miss Penny, let's turn to you. So the days that you are at school, so we know that we have 2 cohorts of students. You're either going to be coming on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or you're going to be coming on Wednesdays and Fridays. So let's talk about what that looks like. It's a little easier to wrap our heads around on this day, right?
Oh, sure. So when our students are here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's going to be what we're calling our Team Blue. And then our students who are coming on Wednesday and Friday are going to be our Gold Team. So this is just our normal 7-day schedule, our 7-period schedule. Students would see their teachers just like they normally would on a Friday. They go to class. We have, time in between, just like normal. So this is just a normal day.
It's an easy day to learn. So let's talk about some of the safety protocols, because they'll actually be on campus. Mask, we're wearing them right now. Do you have to wear them the whole day, throughout the day?
You do. There will be mask breaks scheduled between, if at teacher discretion. Obviously, we won't wear masks at lunch, but they are required in our common areas, in the hallways, and also in the classroom.
Okay. Water fountains, they're disabled.
They've been disabled. We've replaced those with bottle fillers, and all of our students are getting a water bottle.
Yeah.
And then we're also encouraging them to bring them to campus as well. So we want to be able to provide that opportunity. It's going to look a little different.
Yeah, and we have different health protocols in place. We'll be teaching the students, encouraging them to wash their hands, doing the normal things that we've really learned during the age of COVID.
Yeah.
So the days that you're in school, it's really easy. You're just going to be following your schedule like a traditional day. You'll go to lunch period like you're supposed to. So that's an easy one. So let's talk about that last one. So not the virtual Mondays. All kids are there at home on that day. We've talked about the days that you're going to be on campus. So we're talking about now those other days, those other virtual days when you're at home. That's the big question. What is your day going to look like? Are you still going to follow that 7-period class schedule, Chris?
Yeah, you will still follow that 7-period schedule on those virtual days where you're not in school, but you also, you're going to be working on assignments and whatever teacher or platform is assigned, whether it be Edgenuity or whatever the teacher has assigned you. The expectation is that you will turn your work in per period or every period when whatever the teacher date or due date is assigned. So yes, you will be working on your virtual days as well as turning assignments in, whatever your teachers ask.
Yeah, so Ms. Penny, so you're not necessarily going to meet with teachers over Zoom and Microsoft Teams on these days. That's not to say that you won't,
Correct.
but for the most part, you are working independently on those assignments, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So our teachers have been working. They've been here for about a week and a half, and they're super excited for the kids to come back. But this is quite a change for our teachers. And so they've really been working on what does instruction look like for face-to-face, as well as that virtual day when the students are not here. And so what we've explained to them is that this is a regular school day, so they need to be assigning assignments like they would if the student was with them face-to-face. And so they've really jumped in and really looked at that planning piece and how to best support the students when they are not with them face-to-face.
And it's so important, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, that the student still follows that schedule.
Absolutely.
Because again, let's go back to our example from earlier. I'm Johnny. My first class is Algebra 1. I don't need to be working on science if Algebra 1's my first class, because during that period, it's about 7 to about 7:45, there are going to be math assignments that I have to turn in, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And that's what we've been working with teachers on is what does that look like? And so part of that is that if, and that's what we're really stressing that students follow their schedules, is because they may have assignments that are due by the end of that class period. So it is super important that our students are following their schedule. It's just, we're in school from 7 to 2, whether you are here, whether you are at home. You will follow your schedule every day, Monday through Friday. You're either seeing your teacher face-to-face or you are seeing them online.
Okay.
It's also important to know that when you turn those assignments in, that would be your attendance for that day on the virtual days. So getting accounted for is very important even on your virtual days.
Okay. This is a lot of information. We've talked about a lot. We're going to be releasing kind of a graphic, again, the day in the life of a high schooler. Early next week, we'll be putting out some FAQs that answer some of the other questions, but we've hit really kind of the highlights today. So let's recap. Virtual Mondays, you're all at home. You're logging onto Zoom, Microsoft Teams, getting that instruction from your teachers and doing the assignments that we talked about. The other days that you're here at school, easy to follow. It's your traditional schedule, right? Follow as usual.
Right.
And then those days that you're home, doing the other virtual learning, mainly working independently on the assignments. Time to time you might meet with teachers, but for the most part, you're going to be working independently.
Absolutely.
So that's some important stuff. Ms. Penny, our teachers have been working hard, right?
Oh, they have been working hard. They are so excited for our kids to come back. It's been 6 months. It's been a long time since we've seen each other, as well as our kids, and they have been working hard. They've really jumped in, like I said before, really rethinking planning, rethinking instruction. It's different. It's different for our families. It's different for us. It's different for everyone, but we're excited. We're ready. We've got, things in place to make sure that everyone is safe, the learning still continues, and that we have another great year. I mean, it's going to be a great year.
It is.
It is. I mean, it is. So
We
we're
have to
excited.
go into it very positive thinking, and I think that's what it's going to
Yes.
what it's going to be this year. So, Mr. Duncan, let's close with you. What do you want to say to the folks at home and the students that are coming back to Arlington High School?
Well, I think it's important for everybody to know that nothing's going to be perfect. I think, there's going to be mistakes made from kids. There's going to be little nuances that we have to go through to learn from, what online looks like, what face-to-face looks like. And when you put it all together, because like Ms. Penny stated, our teachers have been working hard on preparing. And like I said, we would love for, families to, if they have questions, to ask us instead of looking on the Facebook and listening to other folks. If they have questions, please come straight to us. We'll be glad to answer it honestly and as transparently as we can. So that information is very important, that we get out the correct information.
Yep.
And that it's going to be a learning process for all of us, so we would expect parents to have grace, to have patience, to have understanding from what teachers are having to go through as well as their own kids.
Yep. Mr. Duncan, Ms. Penny, thank you. Parents, we hope you got something out of this. Again, early next week, we're going to be putting out some FAQs to just tell you more things about what's going on at the high school. Thanks for watching.